So one of the things we talked about a little earlier was there any specialty product out there that people just don't know about, and if they knew about it, they might do something with it. It sounds to me, or it sounds to us, like really the way it's structured today is the 30 years the way to go. The gap in the variance. Is there any other product out there that might be of interest to the audience today?
There's a first-time homebuyer products are phenomenal right now. But I've been doing this for over 30 years, and there's as much product out there for first-time homebuyers and millennials than I've ever seen in the history of the times I've been in this business. So I think product-wise, and I'm talking about down payment assistance as well as bond loans. The challenge, of course, we all know in that market is there's limited inventory. So the mortgage rates and the mortgage products aren't at all keeping anybody from getting into the marketplace if they're willing to sit down and have some education with qualified loan officers.
Excellent. Well, because historically you look at mortgage rates and we're still, even at, we got used to and a little spoiled by sub 4% rates, but still at 4.65, 4.7%, which is around where we are today, that's still historically low. So, walk us through, just take us back historically and put that into perspective for us a little bit.
Well, yeah, and I got my first loan, I think, in 1982, and it was a 14% one-year adjustable with no caps. And so, I got a loan, and people were buying homes back then. So we did get used to low rates, but people are going to buy. I think if you look at the millennials as an example, I've heard people for years saying they'll never buy a house, they're not going to buy a car. Car sales are the highest they've been in many, many years. And home sales are happening. The millennials are starting to buy. My favorite commercial is the guy that's sitting in a bar with his friend and says, "I'm never getting married." He marries the girl behind him. "I'm never moving to the suburbs." He's washing a minivan out in the suburbs. And so, life events, more than interest rates, I think, are the driver. And in 1982, when I bought my first property, I bought a house in 40 acres, went to the closing table, told my agents, "I'm never buying another house. This is exactly what I want." 2 wives and 5 kids, and 8 houses later, here I am. So it's really life events more than interest rates or tax laws or anything else that drive the home buyer purchase.
So let's talk about millennials just for a second, since you brought them up. I think that sometimes folks think that maybe I can't get a mortgage because I don't have enough money saved, because they think traditionally you've got to have 20% to put down on a house, and not saving enough money in our footprint here. Average sales price, at least around Washington D.C., is a little south of $500,000. So at 20% of that, you're talking about a decent chunk of change. Are there other down payment options available to first-time home buyers and millennials that we can talk about a little bit today?
There are. I think the biggest misnomer for millennials are that if they sit down with somebody, I do believe what you said, that they think you got to have 20% down, so they don't even test the market, and it couldn't be further from accurate. Anybody with median or lower than median income, there are down payment assistance programs and bond programs in almost every county that we operate in the 14 states we do loans in. And the point I would make, I think, to millennials is for the amount, for the cost of first and last month's rent, almost every one of them could buy a home for simply the cost of what your first and last month's rent would be on renting. And so this is a great time for millennials to buy. There's never been more product out there, and the rates are phenomenal.
Are there loan products out there that they can use gift assistance or assistance from family members as down payments?
Absolutely. And they don't even have to be family members. There's a lot of programs out there where they can be far removed from even a family member. So there's all kinds of programs. I think the best advice to millennials is get with a seasoned loan officer that really understands what the availability is out there, and it's a very compelling to purchase versus rent.
A seasoned prosperity loan officer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.